Hello, Dragons. Today we're going to start our presentation on capitalism versus communism. So as you can see here in your timetable, if you click on here, you will go to Classroom, and it brings us straight to that assignment. We're going to be divided up into two groups. Let me see if I can just make this a little bigger for you. There you go. We're going to divide up in two groups. We're going to have the communism group and the capitalistic group. The communism group, the leader is going to be Nick. The secretary will be Arabella. Viola will be the equity manager. Jonathan will be the devil's advocate. And Leonardo is the timekeeper. And I believe Lou is not here today. Lou, you're here. You just get to join in. Okay. Capitalism, Leela will be your leader. Luca, you'll be the secretary. Samir, you'll be the equity manager. Nelson, you'll be the devil's advocate, and Oscar, you're the timekeeper. So the first question I hope that jumps into your mind is, what in the heck are all those positions? So I want to show you the roles right here. The leader, everyone pretty much knows what a leader is. They make sure that everyone stays on task and leads the discussion, make sure everything's happening. Secretary, that should also make kind of sense to most of you. That's the person who writes down the information. So you'll have one shared doc that your secretary will start, and the secretary will record what everyone's saying. So I hope you too can type fast. If there's a problem, you can always switch with somebody out on one of the other roles. Just let me know if you do change. Also, the secretary, you'll need to create a hangout for your group. The equity manager, that person, that should probably be something new, but that is a person who is not the leader, who makes sure that everyone is participating in the discussion. Each person needs to give at least one answer per question, and I'll show you the task and the question later so you'll understand what that means. But the equity manager, sometimes as the leader, it's hard to make sure that everyone is answering questions, because the leader needs to make sure the questions and everything moves forward. The equity manager, you kind of sit back, you need to participate as well and answer as well, but you need to think, okay, that person answered, that person answered, that person answered, to make sure everyone is actually doing their job. Now the devil's advocate, when I was thinking of group things, Nelson, you are the one that popped to my mind who the devil's advocate is going to be, and Jonathan, I think you can do it as well. This is a person that tries to make everyone think. They try to give the other side of the argument. Nelson, that is what you're doing all the time. You're always saying, hey, what about this? Or, or did you think about that? That is what the devil advocate does. It tries to make the people think deeper, think more, get better answers. We don't want just shallow answers. I want you guys to really think about this. This is answers from you. This is not things that you're supposed to research. Okay? Then we've got our timekeeper. Our timekeeper, it's very important that you have a timekeeper or you do not get it done. So I have the timekeeper being Oscar and Leonardo. Leonardo, I know you can do this job. You just need to get use your phone, your timer on your phone, or use another timing device. Okay, and 5 minutes. Okay, well, let me explain the task as I'm explaining the timekeeper. I think those two kind of go hand in hand. Your task is, I'm going to give you a description and some ideologies of communism. It's very short. It's right here at the bottom. Here's your communistic one. Here's your capitalistic one. You're going to open them up and you're going to read them. The timekeeper is going to make sure that you read them for 5 minutes together. So you just read it. I mean, if you read it faster, that's okay. You can move on. But give it about 5 minutes to read, so you don't want it to take too long. And then there's going to be questions you have to answer. Here are your questions right here. Okay? The timekeeper is going to make sure you have only 5 minutes per question. We've got the devil's advocate who's making everyone think. We've got the leader who's making sure you're staying on task. You've got the equity manager making sure that everyone is answering every single question. And we've got our secretary who's writing it down. So we've got a lot going on right there. So the first question is, what is the advantages of either communism or capitalism? What are the disadvantages of communism or capitalism? Do you think it's a good system? Why or why not? There is no right or wrong answer here, guys. Do you think it's a good system? Why and why not? And I'll tell you right now, well, that should be an and, not an and. I'll tell you right now, they are both good systems. Okay? There's advantages and disadvantages of both, but they are good systems. There is a reason why people followed it. So I really want you to think about, why is it good? Okay? You know, while you're at it, you can think of, why is it a bad system? I didn't specifically ask that, but this kind of comes here with the disadvantages, why it's bad. Who do you think is going to benefit from the system? So of your communism or capitalism, which type of people are going to get the most from it? And then, who do you think is going to be harmed from it? Which type of people is it going to hurt? Okay, again, as I said earlier, there is no right or wrong answer. I want you all to think about the answers. No researching. All you're getting is this communism document and this capitalism document, and you guys are going to discuss what you think the answers are. Okay, so don't think, oh, if this isn't right. No, go for it. You guys are the excellent thinkers. I'm so proud of working critical thinking with you guys. So I'm really excited to see what you're going to come up with. Now, I've created a group shared slide for communism and a group shared slide for capitalism, so you don't have to do that. You don't have to create it. You're going to make one presentation with your group, so each question will be answered on the slide. So the first thing you're going to do on the first slide is you're going to include the summary and the description of the ideologies. So here's your description and ideologies. There's the description and ideologies, and you're going to summarize this. Do not copy and paste what this says. Just put a couple key points. I'm talking like a line or two, so really, really short. Then we're going to create one slide per question. Okay? And you're going to make sure it looks nice. So together you're going to have 6 slides. One to summarize, one that says what are the advantages, one that says what are the disadvantages, do you think it's a good system, why or why not, and who do you think will benefit from it, and who do you think will be harmed from it. Now, what I suggest is each person gets a slide. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. So each person gets one of these question slides. Okay, you need to summarize what your group said. Just don't slap, cut, and paste what the secretary typed. Just put a few bullet points so you can talk about it. Okay, when you do a slide, when you do a presentation, remember a presentation is to support what you're going to say. It isn't the end all and be all. So you guys are going to present your slides to me on Tuesday. We'll do that over Google Hangouts. And you will talk about it. So we'll see the slide, but you also talk about it. So use those speaker notes. I know you guys like to use them, and it makes it really easy. Include pictures and make it look nice. Okay. Now I've created a rubric here for you. Did everyone participate in the work? So I'll be talking with your equity manager to make sure everyone participated in the work. If everyone has a role, you get 5 points. If only 4 people did it, you get 4 points, etc., etc. So one person doing all the work, you get really low. So you need to let everyone do the work. Then here's each slide. Is it explained well? Is it tried to explain? Is it mentioned and explained a little? Is it just mentioned? Oh, oops, we forgot about that slide. Okay, so what are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? Do you think the system is good? Why and why not? Who do you think will benefit from it? Who do you think will be harmed from it? Then an overall group opinion. So that you guys will just kind of discuss at the end. And whether or not the presentation looks nice. Notice lookup presentation jumps up to 10 points where everything else was 5 points. So overall group opinion, I didn't have you write a slide about that. If you wish to, you could. But I need at the end for everyone to explain whether they think communism or capitalism is a good idea, why or why not. Okay? I hope that makes sense. Close out that rubric. Just going to quickly go over it. Here in our timetable is the link to get to the capitalism versus communism. Here are our groups. Lou will work with communism even though he'll be out today. Our roles, the leader, the secretary, equity manager, devil's advocate, timekeeper. And here is your task. These are the 5 questions you need to answer. These are the readings. I also have a link in your, let me pull it up, Mastery Checklist. If you go to History, there's your Mastery Checklist. There's the link to the classroom. Please check off when you are done with it. And please submit it when you are done with it. It is due on Tuesday. My idea is that you guys will get this whole thing done in one class time, that it won't take extra time outside of class. Okay? If you have any questions, I will be at this Hangouts, but you actually don't need to come to that Hangouts unless you have a question. The secretary, that would be Bella and Luca, when you create the Hangout for your group, include me into your Hangout, and that way I can come into you. Okay? Have a wonderful day, and I hope you enjoy it. Bye-bye.